Let's check in with Joseph Lindsley in Ukraine.
Kipling, it took him many, many stanzas to describe that word if. But the Ukrainians do it in one word, yaksho.
Joe. Little Joe Lindsley.
Joe Lindsley is quickly becoming an American treasure in broadcasting.
Welcome to Ukraine.
Joe, I was looking at some of the video on social media yesterday of recent Russian attacks near you, and it was horrifying. And all I kept thinking about was our conversations this week. You're walking in the park while you're talking to us, telling us about stops in coffee shops. You're out jogging. I don't know how you do it. I mean, there is a lot of destruction around you, isn't there?
Bob, good afternoon from Kharkiv. And yeah, I don't know how I do it sometimes and how everyone around me does it. I mean, and there's been such horrible attacks in these recent days. There was a video I saw from the city of Poltava, which is between Kharkiv and Kyiv, and you could hear the screams of the people, in the burning building. And this is something, here right now, I'm once again talking to you from an outdoor cafe in this beautiful park, one of the beautiful parks of Kharkiv City. And there's people here, having an Aperol Spritz or having a coffee, and you see kids in the playground and people taking a walk through the park. But as I look at every single person around me, everyone knows someone who's been wounded or killed. Everyone lives in a building that at any moment could be hit, because that's what happens. It's Russian roulette. There's no safe zone. And there's this great, and so many people with whom I've been speaking today, there's sort of a great, kind of apocalyptic sense, something very heavy here. And no one's I don't see people giving up and running away, but there's a heaviness. And if you look at what the Russian permanent representative of the Russian Federation to the United Nations said the other day, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was today, he said Western countries need to prepare for the fact of the unconditional surrender of the Kyiv regime. And this is, it's absolutely chilling and sinister. And we feel that deeply here. They are working to destroy the entire power grid, not only to destroy the power grid within Ukrainian cities, but then in an extremely sinister way, to cut Ukraine off from Europe. So that, right now, the substations in Kharkiv have been hit, but we have power today because they are able to bring power in from other places. And the Russians are trying to stop this. And this is a clear reminder of just how genocidal Russia's intentions are. They want all of this destroyed. And I think people can forget that. And even here, I mean, you just sort of adapt to life. But, here in Kharkiv, you feel very clearly that, we are all targets, and everyone in this place, Russia is trying to kill or to make them run away. And interestingly, today, we had a great American, a listener to Chicago WGN Radio. He was leaving Kharkiv today, but he came here to help, Jim Gamache. I know Robin is listening back in Chicago, and she permitted Jim to come here for a few weeks. But we went to a coffee shop this morning in Kharkiv. And as you go around the city, you see people everywhere. It's a really...
Nope. Did we lose Joseph there? We lost you there. Lost you there for a couple of seconds. We have you back now, Joe.
Oh, sorry. I'm back. Well, and so Jim, this American who came here to volunteer and help.
Sounds like we're having a spotty connection here this morning. The spirit of the people in Ukraine, it's unbelievable. I was reading about this Ukrainian commander whose lower leg was blown off in a mine explosion last year, and now he's back in the trenches. And he was talking to a reporter about how he had offers to go back to his local academy as a teacher or to work at a draft office in Odessa. He's 32 years old, and he just said, I'm not interested in these positions. It's unbelievable. We have you again, Joe.
Yeah, good. And this is part of the reality here is because we've had such infrastructure problems, it's often easy to lose even cell service. But that's why I carry 3 phones with me on different networks to be able to reconnect. And and so this American said, this is one of my favorite neighborhoods in the world. He said, even though it's pounded by Russian missiles. And you see people sort of hanging out, even this. And I was thinking over the weekend, last weekend, we were delivering supplies a team of three of us delivering supplies to Donbass. And, you're right up there at the edge. And, any moment missiles could hit. And it was a long trip. And we began to try to remember, to recite from memory Rudyard Kipling's poem, If. It starts off, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. But my favorite part of it, which we all recited several times on this road trip, is if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will, which says to them, hold on. And the idea there is like, even when your system is completely depleted and your body is failing, there still is this deep will to keep going. And I really feel that here in Ukraine, that, there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of difficulties. But if you have your spirit, this idea of will, and in the Ukrainian language, there were two words for will. There's the basic idea, like I will do this, I will go to the store. That's ya budu. But there's a deeper sense of will called volya. And volya means the will to be free. And so if there was a Ukrainian translation of that Kipling poem, it would be volya, this deep will, which they often refer to as a holy will. And in the Ukrainian trident, it actually, if you look at the trident symbol, it spells in the Cyrillic alphabet that very word, volya, this deep will to be free. And so if you can hold on when there is nothing in you except the will, except the volya, which says to every part of your system, hold on. That's exactly what I see here. And then as I thought about this today, we had, it was a peaceful night here. At the moment right now, the city of Sumy is under attack, not so far from here, but it's been quiet here for a few hours and you have some time to rest and think. And that poem by Kipling, if, in the English language, if is a simple word. We don't think about that word because it's so simple. But Ukrainian language is sort of a window into how human, not just Ukrainians, but how ancient humans thought. Because Ukrainians never colonized other countries. And as a result of that, their language is very pure. It goes right back thousands of years. It hasn't changed in many ways. Whereas, English, because, England colonized the world, the language is so influenced by other cultures that it's hard to see the pure meaning. So in Ukrainian, you can look at the word for if, and it's yaksho. And I thought about this because you can see that thousands of years ago, people were trying to define this idea of if. They knew it's a part of our life, but how do we define it? And so the Ukrainian word for if is sort of a summary of two other words. Yaksho, it means how and what. And so the idea of if is both a how, it's, how can we achieve something? How can we do this? And a what. And the what is like, what is our purpose? What is the thing that we are living for? What is our ideal? And the word if sort of at its roots contains both of those ideas. And if is a word of possibility. And but it's best used if it's tied to some purpose. What do we want to achieve? How do we want to live? And so Kipling, it took him many stanzas to describe that word if. But the Ukrainians do it in one word, yaksho. And I think that this is what we see. I mean, these are very, very difficult days. I think we have very difficult times ahead of us. But this is what I see around me here. This idea of if, and this idea of this holy will to be free, even in the face of ballistic missiles.
Many lessons we can learn and apply to so much of our lives from the Ukrainian people. And I know you, Joseph, are forever changed by the experience. I hope you have a peaceful weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Thank you for introducing Ukraine on your social media pages. That's very important that much more people can get more information about the situation here and how everybody can help Ukraine to stay stronger and to save all the world.
Що він сказав?
Well, which side are you on? На чиїй ти стороні? Come on now. Oh, which side are you on? На чиїй ти стороні?